Okay, so I just want to show you another look at volume and finding volume when you have those irregular shapes. So this is just another way to look at it, just in case you want some more examples. And this is, I have here two different colors so that it kind of shows the separate shapes that I chose to put together. You've got the green, which is your cube, and then there's this little rectangular prism over here in blue. And just like in your mini lesson, I have them different colors just so that you can see the separate shapes. You could have broken it up a different way. We could have had the whole bottom row as the light blue, and then this little cube on top. It's a rectangular prism on top, but it's up to you how you want to break it. But then you just have to make sure that you add together those volumes. So when you're finding volume, you're finding out, how much space it's filling up in the whole object. And for when you have the cubes like this, you're really figuring out how many of those cubes are there. So in this case, I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that bottom, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 would be how many I had all together. That would be my volume in 10 units cubed. But let's look at that with those two shapes and how we're learning how to solve it. So I'm going to show you when you're trying to find length, width, and height, sometimes it gets confusing because you'll have, well, which one's length, which one's height, and which one's width. And honestly, when you're doing this, as long as you have one of your ways and your other way for length and width, it doesn't matter which one you put where. So for here, I'm going to say my length is from here to here of this green cube. Then I'm going to say that my width is this other one. I'm going to show it at the top just because it's easier to see. So I have my length, I have my width, and I think of height as how tall. So we want to see how tall this one is. My height is right here. Okay, so we've got our length, our width, and our height. So honestly, we're finding out how many over, across, and then how many layers of that so that we know how many all together. So we have 2 times 2, which is 4, but we know it's not just one layer, it's 2 layers. So you have to take 4 times 2 because there's 2 whole layers. So 4 times 2 is 8. There's our first set. So we have 8 plus our extra cubes here. So this case, if you do length times width times height, we'd have your length is 1, width 2, height would be just 1. It's just one row. So this would be 1 times 2, which is 2, times 1 is still 2. So we had our 8 plus 2 more is 10. So I am still getting that 10. There's 10 whole cubes here, and the way I found that out was finding how many of these layers do I have and how many is in a layer, just adding them all together. So that's just another look at finding volume when you have irregular shapes. I hope that helps.